Consumers are asking more and more questions about their food supply. Where does it come from and how it was grown? Farmers are responding to those concerns with factual information about modern farming practices. Next on Show Me Ag. Welcome to Show Me Ag. I'm your host, Kyle Vickers. Many consumers are looking for better information about how their food is grown. Some states are passing stricter laws about food production, while others are loosening controls on corporate and foreign ownership of farm production. Like many issues in America today, we are divided. But a group of Missouri farmers and their affiliate groups are trying to let consumers know they can depend on a safe, affordable, dependable food supply. We have as our guest Ashley McCarty, Executive Director of the Missouri Farmers Care. Ashley, thank you very much for coming today.
Pleasure to join you this evening.
I know you have a real strong farm background and indeed are raising a family on a farm today. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your personal issue with being on a farm in northeast Missouri.
I am blessed to be back home on the farm where our roots are from. I live on a Century family farm in northeast Missouri in Adair County, west of Kirksville, where we are raising our now 3 boys, 8, 5, and 1, which are full of energy each and every day. We made it back home to the farm from central Missouri, where my husband and I are both from Kirksville, but we went to Mizzou, pursued agriculture degrees. I then took a job with the State Department of Agriculture, working in policy development and market information and outreach, which led to a 10-year career with the Missouri Corn Growers Association, and I was pleased to accept the position here at Missouri Farmers Care the first of the year.
Talk to us a little bit about Missouri Farmers Care. I think I hear them advertising on St. Louis Cardinal baseball.
You probably regularly hear messages from Missouri Farmers Care. So 6 years ago, we came together. Missouri Agriculture realized we needed to work together with a strong voice, that there were outside forces that saw agriculture differently than what we believe Missourians do, and that we needed to coalesce and stand for those that produce food, fuel, and fiber that our communities depend on, and jobs. There are 38 organizations that run the gamut of trade organizations, commodity groups, and agribusinesses that comprise the bulk of Missouri agriculture. So you will see on our executive committee, it's Missouri corn, soy, pork, cattle, and FCS Financial, MFA, MFA Oil, Farm Bureau, and it just makes a strong contingent that represents probably a presence you'll see in every Missouri community, and then the members of those organizations, as well as our full gamut of members from Vocational Ag Teachers Association to the Vet Medical Association, pet breeders, and agricultural organizations and individual businesses across the state.
It's kind of it sounds like a who's who in the leadership of Missouri agriculture.
It really took some coalescing to come together, but we kind of have a core vision of sharing the facts about Missouri agriculture and making sure that ag is represented at those times it needs to be, where everyone agrees on an issue, and we need to make sure that farmers' voices are heard. They're really busy at home on the farm, and they do a great job doing what they're doing, but there still needs to be some representation with consumers and some direction of conversation back to the farm.
So as you organized a few years ago, and then you're gradually taking on more, you've come on as not a full-time executive director, but they have somebody dedicated to that, and that's your job.
Yes.
I know one of the things that you're doing is reaching out to individual counties with a new program. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes, just in December of this year, we launched the Agri-Ready Counties program. It designates counties whose doors are open for agriculture, have a business environment that's conducive to agriculture. I would sum it up in saying that the specifications for the program are having requirements, restrictions, and ordinances no stricter than state law. I sit on the Missouri Clean Water Commission, so I see the regulation that goes on the state level on agriculture. I see the exhaustive stakeholder process that regulations undergo, and the science-based regulatory process. And so we feel that that's a great basis for picking and finding those counties that want to work with Missouri agriculture and look to promote entrepreneurship and innovation and business growth and development at home.
Well, before we go any farther and continue this conversation with Ashley, let's go to Cooper County, where they have officially applied to Missouri Farmers Care to be designated Agri-Ready.
The main requirement for becoming Agri-Ready is that your county does not have ordinances in place that are more stringent than the state rules, DNR and things like that. And our county does not have those ordinances in place, and by statute we cannot add ordinances to prevent agricultural activities. So we feel like we meet the requirements. We've made the application and they have to review that. Actually, the state statute goes back to, I believe it's 2007, and if we didn't have zoning in place to prevent activities prior to that date, we are not allowed for our size county to enact those ordinances. So it's not taking any authority away from us to become Agri-Ready. So we think it's a good, positive outlook. The benefits that we see from it, there's many educational opportunities from grade school on up, and when you get up to workforce age, Missouri Farmers Care plans to get into training programs to train people in technology, maybe chemical application, different things that make the workforce ready for agriculture, and then also promote the ag business side of things in the county. And we sit on I-70, skirted by the Missouri River with rail running through the county, and we're a prime location for any kind of economic development. And we have a workforce here that is a agricultural based workforce, and I think everyone knows that a farm kid makes a better worker than a big city kid maybe. And so our workforce here is really poised for factories that may come in, ag-related or non-ag-related, but there's a lot more to farming than getting out in the field and planting corn. There's a lot of ag businesses that support the ag community. There's a lot of ag businesses that are supported by the ag community. And we feel like that Missouri Farmers Care will help us promote that. And we hope that other counties join in to promote agriculture in the whole state. That will just help our county here in the center of the state. The farmers that we have talked to are very supportive. This Alpers family that we're here with today, they currently have 3 generations working their farm operation, and we think that's important. There's many families across the county that are in the same situation. They're in agriculture to stay. This is a sustainable income for the community, and you know, with our Agri-Ready designation, we're very proactive on our infrastructure, our road system. We realize that gravel roads, a lot of people don't travel them, but it's a lifeline for the farmers. So we're proactive on that. Our citizens just passed a capital improvement tax to help us build more bridges and maintain our roads, and we just feel like agriculture is the lifeblood of the area.
Well, agriculture's got a tough way to go right now, and a lot of the industry is leaving the rural area, and this will be a way that our county commissioners can work with businesses coming in. They know that there's support in the county for agribusiness, and anytime that we can generate new businesses and new opportunities in the county and in our towns, it's a big plus for both. It helps the tax dollars come in, it helps create jobs, and it's just a good plus for the overall economy of the county. So many of the car dealerships and even our farm dealerships are consolidating. There's getting to be fewer and fewer. We're having to travel further and further. So anytime we can bring some of that industry back to us, it's going to help us if we can keep some of the products that we use more local.
Well, I think it's very beneficial for Cooper County just in the means of helping the youth out to get them more involved, because I'm 31 and I'm one of the youngest in the county around that farm, or some of the youngest, and we need more youth out here in the county, you know, farming and more in agriculture, and it just looks like a good way to promote it to the younger generation.
I don't see any disadvantage at all. It should just be a plus for the ag sector for the whole county, but especially the ag sector. And some of the counties that may not get that designation, they're the ones that are going to be at the disadvantage, because we're going to see the opportunities look our direction instead of theirs. So it looks to me like it's just a very positive for our county.
We're an agricultural community. I mean, we have been since the beginning. Yeah, I believe if your neighbors are doing well, you're doing well. I don't think we're competing against each other. We're competing against the commodities market. We're competing against worldwide trade now is a big factor. The oil industry, has a huge impact on the agricultural incomes on the farm. So, anything we can do to promote our county and to promote businesses coming in, we're all for it. We're proactive in that area.
Well, just to me, it looks like just a win-win for agriculture, and we need all the extra bonuses we can get and all the help we can get for all the counties surrounding us and our county too.
It's a support, lots of support for our county leaders, and hopefully they're out looking for the industry as well as our leaders are, and if they can work together as a team, it just gives more opportunity, and I think it's going to pay off. It's going to pay big dividends in the future.
So Cooper County has taken this on, and sounds like there's some good enthusiasm. Tell me how the process works in an individual county, and then let's talk about some of the other counties that have also gotten in the ballgame.
So Missouri Farmers Care is looking to partner with those counties that want to promote growth and development. So we have been meeting with county commissions across the state and really have just begun to launch the momentum of this program. There is an application process where the county commission, all three, has to have a unanimous vote or motion to apply to Missouri Farmers Care. We have an Agri-Ready designation review committee headed up by the legal counsel of Missouri, FCS Financial. And we make sure that regulations are within program parameters. It's a pretty basic, it's 8 program parameters that can be summed up by saying that state laws are adequate in enforcing, regulating, and overseeing agriculture. And so after the Agri-Ready Review Committee gets to review those counties, they're then announced, and we begin our partnership of all 38 agricultural organizations working to promote business location, helping to equip growth and innovation at the county level. There's a lot of assets already in Missouri rural counties, and we look forward to really launching that next phase of the program as the months continue through the summer.
Can you describe for us the counties? They're kind of central Missouri right now, but go ahead and talk about the other counties.
So the first two that really jumped out of the gate with Agri-Ready counties, they've been watching it over the last year, were Carroll County and Audrain County. Those were quickly followed by Sheraton County, Cooper County, and Dallas County, south of us. And we've already had applications today from Cole County and have a contingent of applications that are in the works.
So apparently a lot of interest.
There is a lot of interest. I think as a lot of grassroots leaders have taken this program to the county, how good does it feel to say your county is Agri-Ready designated? It's almost a stamp of approval of understanding how important ag is to the county, that the 97% of our farms that are family farms have the backing of their county leadership and their policy development officials, and Missouri Agriculture is looking to step in there and be a strong partner.
Let's talk about this. There's some counties where they've had issues with confinement agriculture, and I'm sure that's at least a part of this development. Can you talk a little bit about how that works?
Yes, certainly. So there are counties that have chosen to restrict agriculture additionally, and that is their choice to make. They have just gone a different direction than Missouri Agriculture feels is conducive to business. And so we know that what we do the best job that we can do. We believe all farmers of all sizes are good stewards of the land, take good care of their animals, and continue to do so. And so we understand if those counties have made a different decision, that is their decision, but we want to work with and promote those that have a door open for agriculture. We have no vision of scale, shape, or size of what agriculture growth and development can look like. That may be very different in every county. So here we are near a really urban area within driving distance to Kansas City. Think of all the local farm opportunities for promoting I sell beef off the farm, but think of those opportunities. That may be vegetable production in a different part of the state. That might be a county that doesn't have local meat processing, or that may be a feed mill. I think that the visions for this can be very different, driven by local county leadership as well as agriculture in the county. Can harness these opportunities.
So you've got a list of counties then that are working towards this pretty much throughout the state?
Yes, we would anticipate throughout the state to have partnerships. So after, stepping back just a little bit, after that designation happens, it's more than just economic development. We are working with economic development officials to build more tools into a toolbox to help promote those counties. But we also see opportunities for job development and workforce skills. And so we would like to model a program and are in discussions with Missouri FFA and Department of Elementary and Secondary Education to identify skills that are needed in local careers in agriculture. There are 60 to 80% of kids that do not pursue higher education, and we know are going to be the strength and the bulk of our local workforce. We want to equip those students to be the workforce that can stay at home. It's a dream of any parent to have a good job for their kid at home. And so if we can identify and teach the skills in our FFA programs and our agricultural programs that are going to be needed in the local area, I think that may be the strongest long-term component of what can come out of this partnership, is identifying the skills needed and connecting teachers with agribusinesses to help learn those skills. They say about a third of ag teachers are new every year in the district they're teaching in. Many of those are new teachers. And so connecting the partnership of Agri-Services of Brunswick and Bill Jackson and all that he has going on ports and transportation would be a great linkage between those kids that we want to equip to have good jobs when they graduate and the agribusinesses that are always looking for qualified employees.
Is there also an outreach to consumers through this program, or is that something else that Missouri Farmers Care is doing?
Yes, so there is also a component that I think can be used on the farm level. So another component of Agri-Ready is the department. I know that you visited with Director Fordyce about the ASAP, the Ag Stewardship Assurance Program. We are encouraging local producers in Agri-Ready designated counties to apply for that. I think that it provides some verification of good stewardship practices on the farm and some benefits if you are a consumer-facing market, that you understand your business model, you understand good stewardship and environmental sustainability, and you pursue that in your business. And so I think that is a good way to interface with consumers. I know that the people that I market to are experts in what they do, and they just want to know that I'm an expert in agriculture. And so that's just one of those ways that consumers can do that through Agri-Ready designation. And we also have a consumer-facing program in which we talk to consumers about their food, really more than talking about their food. In a public relations campaign with the St. Louis Cardinals, really it's an attention-getting effort. And so letting folks know there's a lot of conversations about food going on right now, about agriculture, about sustainability, but providing the faces and the forum for discussions to happen about those food choices and about the realities of the farm is our goal with our partnership with the St. Louis Cardinals. So the fun aspect to it is a corn cob, a soybean, a dairy cow, and a new is a pig run the bases during the third inning break. But that's really just a way to help consumers, to grab their attention and let them know there are conversations and there are people who are willing to discuss and answer their questions about food production in the state of Missouri.
Guys, here in Missouri, though, you got to pay some attention to the Kansas City Royals, especially after last year. You need to be reaching out to Kansas City as well.
You're exactly right. We would like to bridge that gap. I know that half the state bleeds red, but a good portion of it bleeds blue as well, and so we would love to see that grow.
As you've reached into St. Louis, I know there's also, you're at least tangentially involved in a program at the Science Center in St. Louis that's going to be ongoing this summer. We
are so excited to see the new exhibit that is going to let people experience Missouri agriculture and agricultural production at the St. Louis Science Center. There's 1 million visitors a year that come through the Science Center, many of them with those same questions in mind about food production and what it looks like. And so that ties in well. We have an agricultural education on the move program through Missouri Farmers Care. Educators go into Missouri classrooms at the 3rd grade level for 10 weeks, an hour a week. They talk about soils, crops and conservation, the major commodities that we produce in the state, agricultural careers, and that is a great way to show soybean production or where your milk comes from or answer those basic questions. But the Science Center is going to be one more avenue to reach students who want to be engaged in those conversations and want to learn more. Missouri farmers are always open to showcasing what we do and how we do it better every day.
So as you interface with consumers, what do you find is the attitude? I think one of the things that I see in agriculture is that farmers are sometimes we feel oppressed, if you will, that the whole world is working against us and is worried about their products and so on and so forth. And yet, when I visit with people personally, they don't really feel that way. What do you find when you interface with consumers?
I would agree with that there's a lot of marketing hype that goes on in agriculture and food right now, and food particularly. That's a pressure. As a young mom, I feel that pressure on GMOs or organics or hormone-free, just pick the issue. When it comes down to the reality of it, many people are looking to put a good, wholesome food on the table. They love if there's a local connection to that food. And I think that we're on a precipice where there's going to be a lot of marketing opportunities in agriculture as this continues. I don't know that, I think the opportunities are going to exceed the challenges. Some days it does feel like the consumer's questions, when all information comes from the internet, it's a whole lot easier to scare than it is to share facts, which are a lot more boring. And so having those scientific conversations about GMOs is hard to do with a consumer level. I think it relates to every one of us in agriculture to kind of help share information about why we make choices we do, that in fact farmers get to make those choices, and that there are benefits to the environment and there are benefits to our business model to be able to produce more using less inputs.
It kind of surprises me sometimes, because on one side of things, I have traditional agriculture. I end up using GMO corn and soybeans, and on one side there's let's produce, and let's use all the technology. But a couple of magazines recently came out. One was Successful Farming, and one was talking about millennial consumers and how they're vastly different than any consumer we've known before.
Yes.
Another is the Furrow magazine, which is the John Deere publication, which used to be promoting four-wheel drive tractors and giant combines, is now filled with articles about sustainable farming and small scale, local, and so on. How do we bridge this divide? I mean, is it one or the other?
That is a great question. I feel that it is not. I really don't feel that I feel there's a continuum of agriculture and agricultural production methods. I don't feel like there is small, sustainable, healthy, and then there's large corporate, unhealthy.
Not so healthy.
Exactly, unhealthy. I feel like farmers at every size level and every scale do a great job at what they're doing. It's a tough market out there, as a farmer, and so do I, that if you didn't do a good job, you would face marketplace pressures and you wouldn't be in business anymore. And so it's in our best interest. Animal welfare is in everyone's best interest. I want those cows to feel good, because it pays for me them to produce for me. And I think that plays out across the whole scale and the whole scope of Missouri agriculture. So sometimes I feel like there are scare tactics that are meant to divide, and that division is not there as much as some would like to portray.
I'm not sure of your age, Ashley, and I don't want to ask, but it seems like you might be one of those millennials that we read about.
I would be on the cusp.
A young mom. So what do you think is the future is going to hold? People of your generation, are they going to be satisfied with, my generation, it was about cheap, affordable food. The cheaper the better, and unfortunately more processed, et cetera. Do you think there's going to be a dramatic shift over the next few years as you raise your family?
That is a great question. I know many of my neighbors and fellow Missourians are still very much driven by getting dinner on the table, and a healthy dinner. As
conveniently as possible.
As conveniently as possible. We are very busy. But also really low-income consumers are pressed every day in the grocery store. And so I think that there's a contingent that really are just wondering how they're going to feed their family well. And then there may be, as we have more disposable income, there are opportunities for those that want to differentiate how they feed their families. What I would say, knowing Missouri agriculture, having an animal science degree, and having worked in this industry, is that I think that any decision that I make in the grocery store is healthful, is friendly on the environment, and is good for my family. And so I feel like I can be confident. I appreciate the array of opportunities, and I think there's an increasing array. And if a producer can meet that market, I think that that's great business. But I think that I can feel comfortable buying the store brand off the shelf or the high-priced organic GMO-free item, and know that my children are well taken care of and well fed through that process.
And that to you is probably the most important aspect. You obviously, health of your family is. So what other issues is Missouri Farmers Care have they got looking down the road that maybe not here yet, but yet to come?
What we're just talking about is actually, we're engaged with the Missouri State Fair on a food drive that benefits Feeding Missouri. And so I think that we're interested in connecting our farmers back with food insecure Missourians and letting them know that a bounty and abundance also applies to them. And so we are looking about how to strengthen that partnership between farmers on the farm who have very benevolent hearts and would like to help, and how to bridge that gap with food insecure Missourians. So that's one thing we're discussing. Another is there's always opportunities for ag education. Many students today didn't go back to Grandpa's farm because Grandpa's not a farmer, and that's great. The diversification of our economy is a strength, but it provides a great gap in there that we can help fill. And so I think that there is unlimited demand. We have a large agricultural education on the Move program, but it is in a small percentage of Missouri third grade classrooms. And so any way that we can innovate and reach out to third graders, primary students, we bring teachers to the farm to help them understand agriculture better, or begin talking with college students who often really face philosophical questions about the choices that they make. And connecting them back to the farm is going to be job security for the long haul, and looking for economic security for our family farmers, and keeping that component of our economy strengthened, vital, and very viable into the future is going to keep us busy for the long term.
Ashley, thank you so much for coming. I think we could go on for a long time talking about these issues, but unfortunately we're out of time. But thanks to Ashley McCarty with Missouri Farmers Care for being with us tonight, to the Alpers family of Cooper County, and Don Bergary for spending time with us as well. But that's all the time we have for tonight. Before we go, we'd also like to thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to Show Me Ag. Be sure to tune in next time for another look at a topic touching rural Missouri. For everyone here at KMOS and myself, good night. We're also very interested in what you have to say. So if you have feedback you'd like to share with us, you can email us at showmeag@kmos.org or find us on Facebook.